While we've all been doing vibe coding, Kieran has gone to the next level to manage multiple AI agents to code for him at the same time.
It's like I'm a manager and I have like a team of people that are very capable. The work when doing software or building stuff is not code. It's way more. It's research, it's product marketing, it's even understanding what you should build. Coding with agents is super helpful for people that actually build software. If your directions are good, if you're clear in your communication about what problem needs to be solved and how to go about it, they can deliver results to you. Running parallel is a good trick where you can run 3 things at the same time.
Let's get right into it then.
Let's go.
Okay, welcome everyone. My guest today is Kieran, the lead engineer and general manager of Cora, a beautiful AI email assistant. And while we've all been doing vibe coding, Kieran has gone to the next level to manage multiple AI agents to code for him at the same time. So I'm really excited to get him to show us exactly how this works by using Claude Code and AI agents. So welcome, Kieran.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm really excited. I love everything related to agents. I love everything related to AI, and I love building things. And I've been building this product Cora for almost a year now. We just launched 2 weeks ago to general public, which is really cool. And we have had many people say, I love this product. And a few that say, I hate this, which I think is the best product.
Yeah.
You want to have an opinion. And what I've learned is like, I really push myself to build alone. Like I've done VC-backed, like VP of engineering companies before, where I was the VP of engineering, just did the team and all the things. And there's a time now where you can build stuff in a smaller team, and that's really cool. And I'm very excited about what you can do. And like I've been pushing myself, how far can you go? Like when does it break? Where does it work? And especially in the last weeks, it's really special. There's another step up again, which is like working in parallel and using agents to do long running tasks. And yeah, like let's talk about it. Let's see what that means. And yeah, hopefully we can show some code as well, like how to do that and share some workflows.
So, I've been doing a lot of quote unquote vibe coding of Cursor and just like watching it generate code and, debugging stuff. But I think what you're doing is a little bit different, right? So maybe you can just talk a little bit about that at a high level first.
Yeah. So like vibe coding, this is something that started maybe a year ago. Like I was vibe coding a year ago, and then I got maybe the name vibe coding started this year. But it's like you have an idea and you say, oh, I have this idea, like, can you start it? And you see something and you give feedback. And there's this feedback loop where you kind of collaborate with the AI in like a tight feedback loop and create stuff that you would take, like that would take weeks or months before, or you would not even be able to do because you don't have the coding skills. So that was like the first step where, and that's the vibe coding. What agentic coding is like, it's kind of more like having a colleague. Like it's like I'm a manager and I have like a team of people that are very capable, and like I give a spec or I give a larger piece that needs to be completed and hand it off to an agent, and the agent will actually complete that. So the feedback loop is less tight, but if you do it well, it can be very, very powerful, because imagine there are like 5 agents or people every 2 seconds say, hey, I did something, what do you think? Like that doesn't work in parallel. And the like the change with the new models with like Claude 4 and Opus is they're good at following directions. So if your directions are good, if you're clear in your communication about what problem needs to be solved and how to go about it, they can deliver results to you. You're still giving feedback, but you're giving feedback on a pull request or on like a larger change. And you can also give feedback on the research. So like there's like these steps you need to go through. It's not like, let's just go. It's like you actually need to think about what you want to build. And that is just like traditional software engineering. Like what problem are you solving? And like, if you don't know what you're solving, like the AI doesn't know what to build. So it's like that's kind of the change. So coding with agents is super helpful for people that actually build software that want to get work done. And I would say this applies for everyone, even like non-engineers. I've a friend and he's not a techie at all and not really an engineer, but he's very interested in learning new things. And I said, just try Claude Code. He was like, terminal, what is that? Ugh. like,
Yeah.
like very scared. And I said, no, it's not too bad. It's just text and you speak to it or you type and it does stuff. And like, just see what you think what it does. Like, do you like it or you don't? And he was like, oh, holy shit, this is really cool. Like, it does what I want it to do. And that
Yeah.
magic, that's what agentic coding is. It's like, before you had to give feedback like, oh no, don't do that, or like, don't write like that. Agentic coding is more of like, yeah, it does what I want. And yeah, there are these magic moments.
Yeah, it's kind of like a natural evolution if you think about it. Because, like, if you're like a engineering manager, you're not gonna look at your engineer's computer the whole time, right? It's like in the
Some
task.
do, yeah. Terrible
Yeah.
manager, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really like, if you are a tech lead or an engineering manager, this is for you. Like, this is your jam. This is exactly it. And the fun part is, like, if you are a very micromanager, nitpicky tech lead, it's also great because the AI doesn't care. They will happily do whatever you want. So yeah, like, for sure.
And let's talk a little about, because Cursor has been growing like crazy,
Mm-hmm.
but it seems like the people like yourself who are like the most savvy at this stuff are moving to Claude Code, right? So maybe talk about.
So, like, the thing is, there's no right tool. Currently, there are lots of teams like AMP or Klein or like even Copilot. Like, they're all interesting teams doing interesting things, and they all have their own take. And you as a builder, or you as someone that are experimenting with these things, you should try them out, because one works great for someone and the other doesn't work great for someone. And you should experiment and push yourself, and in 2 weeks it might be different. So, like, we're going to show Claude Code now, but it's not
Yeah.
about the tool Claude. It's about, like, how do you reset and rethink how you work with these tools.
Makes sense. So let's get right into it then.
Yeah.
Can you give us a tour of Claude Code first?
Let's go.
Yeah.
Okay, what you see is Warp, which is my terminal, but it could be any terminal. You can get the terminal by just typing this and say terminal. If you're not used to this. And you install Claude Code, go to their website, you just paste one thing and it's there. And you started by just running Claude. And this is it. Like, it kind of looks weird. The first time I started is, I was like, well, is this really going to like change my IDE? I'm a very visual thinker, so I love to see visual things. But I like it now, because this gives me peace, because there's just one thing I can do here, really, which is type what I want it to do. And if you compare that with Cursor, for example, like, yeah, which do you select? Like, auto mode, many buttons, many things. There
Yep.
is a way to also still have it in Cursor or other places, but like, it invites you to do something, and like, the blank slate is nice. But basically, what you can do, you can just say, type in something, and it will start doing stuff for you. So, for example, so what I use Monologue, which is a text to or a speech to text app we built internally as well. I can share the link if anyone wants to try it out. It's very early on, but it's really good for using Claude Code. I don't like to type. I stopped typing like more than a year or maybe 2 years ago. Whenever Whisper launched, I stopped typing. So,
Okay.
can you show me what the app we're in does, like, very high level? This is a great use case you can use Claude Code for, which is just teach me stuff. So that's really helpful if you're like in a new code base, or if you're not very familiar with it. It will like ask you it will ask some things. It's going to do a Claude Code. So it's going to say what Claude does. So and actually, can you look at the code and say what this project does? Like what language, what's up here? So my speech tool, it reads also context, so it sees Claude Code and like rewrites part of it. So it's
Nice.
now doing stuff, and you can see it keeps to-dos, and to-dos are kind of a way to keep it on the leash, so it will not do random stuff. And you can tell it like, hey, I want to do 5 things, create to-dos out of that, which is a very helpful thing, and it will just go one by one until it did everything. And it's very good at finding files and gathering information. So this is like number one that I always do is research. It's really good at research. It can search the web. You can connect MCPs like Contact 7, which I like. It's very good for putting in information. It can look on your file system. It can do anything in your CLI, which is basically everything. So okay, now so this is like a demo app. It's a Ruby on Rails 8. This is the tech stack. There's this already set up, and I already added some fake Gmail clients that we might use, and already an LLM library. Like it's very good at already existing code bases. It's also good for creating new ones, but like that's how it's different than vibe coding. I think most people use this stuff at work or for actual products to ship actual code more than like vibe coding. It breaks down at some point and you're like, this doesn't work. You delete everything and start over. Like this is like for sustainable apps and things like that.
Got it. Okay.
It is pretty bare bones in that you see text, but the fun part is you can also work with GitHub. So like you can do research and then say create GitHub issues. So let me show you, like for example, you want to like do some research and like see if we can create some issues here and start building some, or do you want to do something else?
Yeah, let's just build something like a demo or something.
Yeah. So I thought it was fun to like kind of show like a very stripped down version of Cora, which looks at your email and then like kind of summarizes it and makes like the most important things, prioritizes those. And so I have a fake Gmail client that kind of fetches fake information. So we're going into the plan mode. You can shift tab into that. And what that's enabled is like it will start gathering information and thinking without coding. And this is something like Cursor loves to like start coding. And and this is a best practice. Like it's better to have very good research up front because it is like easier down the line. And I'll show you a few things. Okay, so I'll also just start talking. I want to research a feature and use the Gmail client and Ruby LLM gem. I want to add models, database models for emails that will store the emails from the Gmail client. Then I want a service that will take an email and summarize the email for me, and you can use the Ruby LLM gem. And then third, I want a UI that I can read through these emails. Can you do research on what you would recommend? And maybe you can make these 3 separate issues and you can do them in parallel using sub-agents. So I don't have to wait too long. So let's see. So what I'm doing here is like, I already have in my head kind of what I want. I want to give direction, but I don't want to be too specific because I still want it to be creative at this stage. Because if you say all the details, like it should have all these things in the data, maybe I missed something. Like LLMs are really good at like filling in things I missed. So you want at this stage to be not too precise, like we're exploring. And you can see here, I said in parallel, because sometimes these things go on for like 25 minutes. My record is, I think, 25 minutes. We have like a competition internally with people like, how long can you have Claude run? And I win at 25 minutes still.
Okay.
But it's like still like we're on a podcast and we're like actually doing stuff here. So running parallel is a good trick where you can run 3 things at the same time in a sub agent. And the added benefit is like it won't cost you tokens in the context window of the main conversation. Basically, it means at some point it did too much and it gets worse. And
Yeah.
doing it like this, it like does a task, summarizes or takes something, and then only has the summary in there. So you can like reduce tokens on the main context window. Like
So it's
this.
basically like 3 separate Claude chats with like some
Yeah,
context.
this is basically like I'm opening 3 separate chats here and then copy paste this instruction and then say for this one do that, for that one, and this automatically does that. Like it orchestrates the sub agents and like brings it back and synthesizes it. So it's a good tool to know. Just note that sometimes sometimes you have to say yes, which is good. Otherwise, yeah, it's not as safe. So yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's basically what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's also a way to just get it to YOLO, like instead of it, you have to say yes all the time.
Yes. Yeah, that's how I actually use it.
Okay.
Like I would start using it like this, but at some point you trust it, and
Yeah.
you can like it will save all these yes in a config file as well. But I just run it YOLO, which is like dangerously skip everything, which is a mode that just like it just goes. I would not run that without being here. Like that is a little bit dangerous because you need some containers. But if you have containers set up and stuff like that, just think about it.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, like experiment. Like if it's a project and you feel safe, do that. Like there's the magic for sure, because saying yes, 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 if you do sub agents like this, will show the just running without saying yes, yes, yes with these 3 tasks. So it has a plan. Let's see. So it has a plan, the core models, the structure where it's a service, and this is going to do that. And there will be some components, which is like an emails controller. So yeah, like I think let's go.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
I say, okay, can you create 3 different markdown files for issues? And yeah, for all these 3 issues with the plan. So I want to store this plan somewhere, and normally I do it on GitHub, and the GitHub CLI is also there. But like for now, let's make it simple. You can say create 3 different issues on GitHub for this. What I like about that is that other engineers can pick it up, even, or an agent can pick it up, or like there is some visibility in why it went that way, because sometimes with vibe coding it's like, yeah, there is like some command that you say yes, sounds good or something, and that is like the only place, and you have to go back to through history. And this way you can also say, hey, let me try codex, let me try amp, let me try client, let me like, and like just see which one is the best and go with the best, which is also very interesting. So I would always like document things like this and use them then to kick off another agent. So
Got
here,
it.
it made the first one. Let's pick this one. So what I'm going to do now is I want to like implement these 3 features at the same time, because why would we do one at a time if you can do all 3? So there's this feature in Git called work trees, which is so Git is a way to check in your code, and there's version control for the non-technical people. It's basically if you make a change, you say this is a change where I do this and this and this, and your name is connected to it, and you can reference like the versions, so you can see what happened. Use Git. If you don't like, and if you don't know what Git is or how it works, just tell Claude Code to commit it, or use Git for everything, or teach me Git. Like it will teach you. But Git has work trees, which are basically you create a new branch, but it's in a different folder. So that means you can have different agents or different Claude codes running at the same time. Because the issue is if there's one changing a file and the other one is changing the same file, that will be messy. It will mess up. It's basically having 3 developers using the same system or something at the same time. And this is like separating that out, even though it is on one system, which is a very cool feature. So I have this command here, WT, which is just make your own. But basically what it does, it just creates a work tree for me based off main. Here you can look what I have, but like make it however you want it. You can do that in Claude as well. So work tree, and we'll just call it this because it's feature 1. Okay, and then I do CC, and then you can see now suddenly it says bypassing permissions, and CC is the one I use, and it just runs Claude and says dangerously skip permissions.
Okay, so CC is just your own function to.
It's
run
my
that.
own function that I use, and I don't like typing a lot, so I just use aliases and functions to just make it go faster. Okay, so we have this one, so you can reference files with an @ sign, so it knows it's a file. Like it doesn't really need to, but okay, can you start implementing this feature? And before you do that, think ultra hard about all the to-dos you need to take to get this done. So I use some trigger words. So one is to-dos, create to-dos, which is like that list that we talked about.
Yeah.
And the other one is think ultra hard. Oh yeah. So okay. So this file doesn't exist because we didn't check it in. So let's do that.
Okay, you gotta commit. Yeah.
Can you commit these files? And you can see already, like if you have this on GitHub, like that's not an issue. But yeah, like so you can see it's committing now. It's adding these markdown files and it's pushing them. So we'll do the same here.
I like how you've optimized your workflow to be maximally lazy, like with the shortcuts and the voice.
Yeah, you should, because it's all about friction. Like the less friction you have, the easier it is to do. So yeah, if you can lower friction, do it. But you start, you don't start here, obviously. You create your own way of working. Like start using Claude, start then changing one thing, and then like where's the friction? How can I automate that? So now it goes here. I'm going to do the same with the others. So let's see this one. You can do cool stuff in here as well, where you like split screen in Warp, and you can use tmux and whatever you want. But I'm a classically trained composer. That's my background.
Okay.
So I'll just make this work for however I do. And you can see here the to-dos are already generating, which is cool. Okay, so we'll do this one here. There are systems for doing this really smoothly, but for some reason I just like the simplicity of just like me doing it, because I'm closer to what's happening instead of like using a framework and like doing all kinds of hard stuff. Yeah. So you can see 2 features running at the same time, and they are on different branches here and also on different work trees. And we can do the third one as well. Like yeah.
So, but the 2 features are not like they don't need code from the other feature, right? Like.
So like dependencies. Obviously, you need to think about. Yes, they need code. Like this one needs code from the other feature, but the beauty is we had research done as a holistic thing.
I see.
So you can say, hey, like assume this exists.
Got it.
So yeah, like it's like this is a pretty big feature to build in like 20 minutes, but like it's showing how it works and what it does. And normally what I do going through this is so these two will work without each other. The third actually needs the models being done, but you can see it's going step by step, and it's thinking ultra hard, which means it will take some more tokens and more time. But when you do that, it gets better output. And just think about, like, when would you think hard about something? Will you think hard about something if you say, oh yeah, can you change this line to that line? No, you don't need to think ultra hard. That's easy. But if it's about what can go wrong deploying this to production, if I have 20 million rows here, like maybe like I will need to think harder. So then you can trigger, you say think hard, think ultra hard, or think deeply. Like those words will increase the thinking levels in Claude Code as well. Yeah.
And you're not paying by the token, right? You have the $100 plan or something.
Yeah, I got the $200 plan.
Okay.
But you can get the $20 plan, which this includes also the $100 plan. I barely hit any limits, but like I did hit limits once in a while, and I'm just like, this is so much value that it doesn't make I think I'm now at, like, I checked yesterday, $1,800 in token usage in the last month. So like that's $200. So it's worth it for sure. And there, I know there are people that have like way more. Like thousands, like $4,000, $5,000, $6,000. So yeah, wow. Like but subscribe. And since yesterday, this plan is also included in the CI version. So you can actually run these not on your own computer, but you can run them on GitHub, and you can do add Claude and have the same agent running on GitHub. So you don't need to use work trees, which is really cool. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, so it's doing things here. The nice part is, like, it's not just code. Like, it's going to do migrations. It's going to add tests. It's going to run the tests. And it's pretty good in, like, not going crazy. Like, it's good at course correcting when it does something wrong, which is really nice.
And do you usually, like, watch this happen, or do you, like, go get a coffee or something? Or...
normally I go on X, obviously. No, I get a coffee. Like I normally do something else, but a lot of the time when this is running, I'm already starting to think, what is next? Like, if these things are done, what is the next step I should be working on? And that could be already researching the next step, or so let's do that. Let's say we have this Claude Code here. Or we can do one more here. Let's do that. We can see everything. Mm-hmm. So let's do the UI, and we can say, actually, the models are not there yet, but like, we can see something, because it will be nice to have something. Okay, so we'll have this one. Okay, I want you to implement the UI. Currently, the models are being worked on by a different developer, so just mock something up real quick. But I want to see the UI already. There we go.
Oh, and sorry, what is in those MD files? It's like the previous research that you did, right?
Yeah. So let's open these. Yeah. Normally, I review these, but it's
okay. It's like a spec, basically.
Yeah, it's like a PRD. It's like what is the problem you're solving, and and you can use you can, so it's fun because it's pulling in what kind of techniques it should use, and like it looked at the code base and like how things work there. So it's like for these we did some experiments, like what is the how do you get the best research done. Mm-hmm. And the best research done is not using sub agents necessarily, because they use a cheaper model. They use Sonnet, use Opus, and think ultra hard. Normally, the more information in a plan, the better, as long as like it's correct. And
Yeah.
Opus is really good in writing correct information and really grounding it in things. And things you can use is like reference blog posts where you think, I really like this style or this pattern, or like what are best practices. And Context 7 is a MCP that has like that all curated for you, which is really helpful. But you can just do a web search and like say these or do deep research with ChatGPT and say like, what are the best practices for this kind of framework in 2025? And then if you agree, you just say, yeah, sounds good, and you can add that as context as well.
So you were able to trigger Opus, like you didn't actually pick the model, right? So you just asked it to think extra hard, and then it's using Opus.
Yes, yeah, like yeah, you can actually pick the model. I never do, but yeah, it will
Okay.
pick the one. Like I think you can just do model, and then you can select something as well. But
Got it.
it's going now. Yeah, you can select a model as well, but use Opus. Yeah, it's the best. And if you already have unlimited and you're not throttled by anything, like there's no reason not to use Opus. It's for sure the best. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so these are still these are still going.
Mm-hmm.
What like normally what the next thing is, like you have this code and okay, like I think this one is done because like it's doing tests now, and I think that's fine. So you can hit escape. So and any time, and this one is also done. It's also doing tests. Like I think for the purposes now, it's fine not to have tests.
Yeah.
Okay, create PR. So I always use GitHub. I love GitHub because that's just something I'm familiar with, and like it's something I'm used to, and pull requests are great to review code. So I like to be old school and review code before merging. So I use that. So I just say create a pull request and look at the code. And I've other tools as well, like automated testing and things like that. So maybe we can do that with the pull request here. If one is generated, to have Claude Code also reviewed. One other thing is like, yeah, like I'm talking lots of things here, like, oh, do this and think ultra hard. Like, I don't say all of those things. I just have slash commands created. But it's good to understand what I'm saying and what the elements are. But for example, this one is the research example. And how that works is I can just say slash issues, and it will trigger that command. And I can say issues, and then I can give information about what I want it to research.
Okay.
And that is then passed in here as an argument. So the elements here in this command are first researching the repository. So like, what are we in? That's important to have in the context. Researching best practices, and I liked web context 7 to do that. It's like the grounding part where you want it to like gather information, ground it, and then I go to present the plan. And if I like the plan, I say create a GitHub issue. So
is this your prompt or like Claude's prompt?
Yeah, this is my prompt. And it's just like when I do these prompts, so like I just think like, oh yeah, this is a useful one I will use tomorrow again.
Okay.
And what I normally do is I go to the Anthropic console, generate prompts, and just like write stuff down. So for example, I get a lot of podcast requests in my email, and I want a way to look through my emails and see if there are any very, very good proposals in there, like top proposals. And I want to use the Gmail MCP for that. So it could be that basic. So I imagine you have a Gmail MCP connected to Claude Code, which you can, and you have this business thing of like, I want to like have Claude Code like find precious podcast things.
Yeah.
And normally I copy this and just go here and create a new / command. and this is always pretty good. And just make sure that like emails you instruct, make sure to fetch the emails with the Gmail MCP. So if that's clear, Claude Code will know that the MCP is available and you can use this, and you can add your criteria here, obviously. And then you have a command, and then it works a certain way or not, and you can refine it. And then sometimes you look at another command like mine, or like you're like, oh, that's an interesting way to think about it. Like, let me add that as well. And I'm very much pushing to use this for other things than just coding, like feature-based triage. I have one where I look at all feature-based posts and triage them and see if it makes sense, and then I can create a GitHub issue or fix a bug really easily. So there are like other things that I'm trying to do now as well.
Yeah, that's I wish they had this like / command stuff in just the regular chat interface for Claude, and they don't. Like
they don't. Yeah, like it's funny, but now I just use Claude Code for everything that I use Claude normally for, and I use the file system kind of like projects as well, and like that is fine. Like it is super flexible to do it. Yeah,
that's brilliant. Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. We have a pull request here. Let's okay, GitHub is not linked, but there is a pull request now, and what you can do is like there's a review command, so you can use Claude to review itself, and that's another thing. Like starting new agents to review itself is great, because it will reflect and think and like have a different mode or different hat and different context window. So you can even do that 5 times and see if it's like coming up with new things, or 2 times. And you can even do it in sub agents where you say, review this with 3 different hats on, like a business person, like a security researcher, and they will all bring out different things.
Okay.
But in the end, it's like, where and how do you integrate this in your workflow? And I do that in GitHub, where I just say, okay, add these all to GitHub. This is currently one of the biggest bottlenecks I have, is doing the research and it's doing the reviews, which and the coding is actually the easy part if you do good research, because it's pretty good at writing code. It's like the sheer amount of code you need to review. So like how to do that, like what we're trying out is like creating custom commands as well. So here we have one that is one is proofread. It's like, hey, if there's copy in everywhere, like we like good copy, so there's like a very extensive list of how we should write, and this is style. So this is one. So we run that one. Like fix critical is like, this is a very important part. Like if it's like encryption, like more security, like we'll run this to think ultra hard while executing. So it's like really leaning into the security hat and like really activating that part.
Okay.
There is the best practices. So if you think like, hey, this stinks a little bit, like maybe there are like better ways to do it, like catching issues. And this is also good for people that are new to a framework. For example, if you come from Python and suddenly you're working Ruby, or if you're TypeScript and you do Django, things are different, and it's good to ground it in best practices for a framework like that. So there are different / commands that you can run and use then as well. Yeah.
You run this on the PRs, like to review the PRs?
Yeah. So yeah, like let me show you here. So basically, this is in Cora, but basically it has access to my PR. So okay, load the last newest PR, please. So it can look at GitHub and just pull in the PR, and you can say, I want to work on this PR, and it will check it out and pull in the comments. The PR comments is the / command to get comments from the GitHub pull request. This one is built into Claude. And yeah, the beauty is it is like it's all connected with MCPs, and you can add everything you want. So like if there are to-dos here, I can add it to my to-do list as well. So here it pulled it, and this is the newest one. Revamp memories index UI to match something, and you can just hit review. and
Yeah.
and this is a good start. Like it will, like the weird things that are just easy to catch, that normally with linting, clearly you have linting and stuff scan set up, but like sometimes there's taste or there's like it feels wrong, and now those things can be reviewed as well, which is really cool. And it's about distilling that style and that
Got it.
into a prompt or a review or a slash command. And yeah, so that's how it
That
works.
command is a Claude Code native command.
Yeah,
right?
this is a native command. There's nothing special. There's the review and the PR comments are built in. So yeah.
Okay, so it looks pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, so it goes here and it says, oh, this is not good. We should fix these.
Okay.
Memory leak things, great. And normally I look at it and I'll, like, it's not always correct, but it's good for me to say, oh yeah, actually it's incorrect. Like I rather say, no, this is not correct, and I'm fine with these things than not even knowing about it. So it's like I ship more confidently having these reviews. Also, if you have tests, obviously. But yeah, like that's kind of the workflow.
But dude, like when do you actually look at the code in the review? Like
Oh
like
yeah,
after,
so that's
yeah.
all after this. Yeah, so like like I try to automate as much as possible. So so there.
Got it.
Yeah, so I look at this. I can say you can say add these as comments, which is kind of fun because then
Oh, it's in the code then. Yeah.
yeah, and maybe at this point I'm like, okay, let me actually like let me look at the code. and normally I do that in batch, and I just do it old school, where I just go here and like add comments. Yeah, so I would say yeah, so let's say like, can we move these in inside the view instead of a helper? Is there a better way to do it? So I can say something like that, and you see it rewrites it to like a certain thing. And I can even say, Claude, what do you think? What do you think?
Sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
You gotta type.
Yeah, I gotta type bug early version. So if you do this and you submit the review, Claude will actually pick it up and work in GitHub. So it's like it's really cool to have it both like in a like execution mode locally, but also having it here to finish things up.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, that's really cool. And if the code looks good, and you can see here also with Charlie, which is another AI bot, like we just add everything, and they have different opinions and different angles that they come from. Like this more of a TypeScript heavy bot, which is really cool because you have like a TypeScript bot reviewing Ruby code, which they're different. Like it's nice. There are different perspectives. So like adding different perspectives yeah, is always good. And you can see I said like, can you add these comments as well? So it added the comments as well here from Claude. And the beauty is like I could take the reviewer role using Claude Code, and someone else could use Claude Code to implement this. Like in this case, it's Natesh. And the beauty is like this is more of a traditional workflow, but it's heavily enhanced and accelerated because we use AI. And if there are comments, it's just easy to resolve them.
Yeah, because you have like AI reviewing and AI implementing.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's wow, man. That's wow. Did the UI generate yet? Or
Yeah, let's look at the UI. Okay, so okay, merge this to main. or let's run it here. Let's look at what the UI was like. Yeah, there's lots of code here. You can already see, like, from doing this, like, there's too much stuff to review to even like, there's so much generated in the time we talked that it's hard to even show everything. So here, let me just show the UI, see if we see something nice.
Yeah, man, I'm not an engineer, but like I think the classic junior engineer thing is just like you just like submit a PR with like 1,000 lines of code, right?
Yeah,
that's like what I'm gonna do with this.
Let's see, email. Like, it did so much that so let's see, account ID, emails. See, okay, so here we have something. So normally I kind of know what it's going to do, but so let's do account ID. Okay, now, well, like there is always a use for like more old school stuff as well. Like, AI agents are not perfect and they make mistakes, and it's perfectly fine to run into mistakes and just go in and edit things or copy paste stuff. Like, that is also something, like, it's very early, we're still figuring this out. And also, like, there were lots, like, this is also, it crashes because it doesn't have the, like, this is a versioning thing. It was always part of the library, and this is like, an LLM is not up to date enough with this bleeding edge version. And you'll see that, like, if you use like later versions or like frameworks that change a lot, you'll feel the pain more.
Oh yeah, that even vibe coding, that's like very common pinpoint.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like it like things. Yeah, that was like 2 years ago, but we use something new, and so now it requires it. Let's see what we see. Okay, so it assumes here. Okay, we'll get some nice to see. Simplify it. Simplify. And then the classic is simplify or go to Jill.
Oh yeah, you say that?
I mean, you say, or something terrible will happen, or like, that's like the old school GPT-3 where you like, it doesn't really work. No, this is a joke. It doesn't really work anymore. But in the previous past, it did work where, okay, accounts, emails, path. So yeah, like this is just like, it's a big feature, but let's give it a few more minutes. I feel confident.
Yeah, so I guess the vibe coding best practices still apply. Like,
it's part of it. Like, I think vibe coding is just a piece of a bigger thing, and I think vibe coding is something we used to understand that it's very powerful, but also it sucks because, like, sometimes you have no idea why something is not working and everything breaks. And sometimes structure is nice to have. Let's see. Oh, we're not logged in. That's probably it. Let's log in. I think that's the thing. Let's first log in and then we go. So maybe it works. Sign up. See, yeah, it's too good. So also, I use starter projects because I think that makes it way easier to write good code. Undo last thing, because it has already like a vision. It has a set of tools. It has like someone that actually knows what works because they have experience baked in. So I would recommend using like some kind of starter kit. Okay, well, we have a beautiful vibe coded.
Wow, this is like email management. Yeah,
I guess it made Gmail as well. Okay, summarize all emails. Batch summarization started for all emails.
Well, hang on. Well, what? Let's go back to your previous point. What is starter project? Like, just some.
Yeah. So a starter project, like, there are these people that, like, for example, this one is called Jumpstart Pro from Chris Oliver, and there are others. Like, there are projects where there's already like a stack selected, like Stripe for payments, or Supabase for hosting, or Next.js for this with Shed CN, or whatever the technology stack is, because they know that works well and they have experience, and they made those decisions for you, and then you can focus on your business logic. Like you like what is built in here: sign up, Stripe payments, account management. Like they're all the things everyone needs, but they're not unique to anyone. Like everyone needs that. So if you start with something like that, it also gives the AI already like a starting point and like a opinion of like, these are the tools you should use, instead of it going with Clerk and like something else the next time. And like sometimes the grounding in those decisions and libraries can work very well. Yeah.
And where do you find get started projects? Just search on or just ask ChatGPT or
Oh yeah, I would do that. Yeah, I would totally. So it is. It depends in what language you want to build as well, but it's just like ChatGPT, deep research, starter projects, and just explain what kind of problems you're solving and what kind of things you should probably have included. And some are like very bare bones, and some are very built out. But yeah, like yeah, it's funny. We rebuilt Gmail. I'm sure. I'm sure there is like now something running somewhere. Let me look at the routes. Let me do old school. Let's see what we have, because so let's see. We have. So yeah, and this is one thing I don't like about work trees. You're like now in here and like, oh, but I don't see anything, because that's because we're not in the work tree. So here, let's go here. So you have this Git work trees here as well, so you can see the work trees here as well. And let's see, we're in 02 email summarization MD. Yeah. So here, let me open this. So now, if you want to jump into a work tree using Cursor or any other, like this is how you can open it. So now I am in this work tree, and now I should see the routes.
Got it.
That were added. Technically. But I don't, but that doesn't matter, because we can also go here and say routes. What I want to see is if there's any other. If there's anything else cool we can look at.
Oh, you mean like all the things this is?
Yeah, like now do? it's yeah, I did something, but I don't account. So we have
build a lot of stuff, man.
Yeah, so yeah, it didn't build all of this, but because some was included already. But
okay.
Let's see. Like we have the accounts. Let's grab for accounts. And messages. Yeah, so we have messages. Oh yeah, that's not it. See, the here is like where I'm like, visual would be great.
Yeah,
you're and this also the screen is a little bit small, but yeah, I think this is it for now. I cannot find wait, let me do.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, my goal was to show like ways how this could work, and hopefully inspire some people. Okay, so summarize. Okay, so we have summarize batch, email search, new. I think there's no view for the summarization yet. And
okay,
and like, okay, another way, like, is there a view for the summarization at all? Like you could ask Claude also. So there's always different ways to get answers here, and lean into their old school ways to do this, but also like experiment with new ways.
Yeah, Got it. Okay, yeah. I mean, it can basically play like multiple roles, right? Like PM, it can be
Yeah,
designer, it can be
that's
engineer.
really the mind shift is
Yeah.
think of it like a colleague more than a coding assistant, because that is just one thing it can do. It can be a PM. It can write product marketing. Like it can post a change log. It can write in your voice and all of that. So yeah, absolutely.
So why don't we? I want to make sure we have time to show the real product, like the Cora, if you
Cool. Yeah. So
want
we
to show
were
that.
trying
Yeah.
to kind of do Cora, but yeah, like let me show. Like a view that I hoped it would have created was something like this,
Hmm.
which like Cora, you connect to your Gmail. It will look at all the emails that come in, and everything that is not important or not urgent enough to immediately see, we archive. And that is a very scary thing, but also an incredible feeling if you open your inbox and suddenly you only see stuff you need to look at, which is very, very nice. And
Yep.
everything else is archived and summarized for you, and you receive it twice a day. And we also make things important, so the more important things are on the top. So you can see here more important messages for me, newsletters, summarize like what are the main points, and sometimes like you have more than one,
Mhm.
which is really fun. And like I have so many newsletters that I don't even read all of them. And this way at least I can see if I want to read it, because sometimes I
Yeah.
read it and I'm like, oh, actually this one sounds nice and I want to read it, and you can go here or open in Gmail. And promotions, like no one looks at promotions
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
their email, but now like I see $75 or 50, or like it's easier to scan these. And sometimes like I find a coupon where like, oh, actually I want coffee from that roaster and they have 20% off, so why not? Like this is the time. And I would have never done that before. If you don't want these, you can always just not have them.
Mhm.
um and also if there is something like this, and say, hey, this is under other, but it should be in journaling, so you can just say, oh, okay, you make it journaling, and you can talk with Cora, and the assistant here can take action for you and learn how you want to do things. We also draft emails for you. um yeah, it's really fun, like people saying like, oh man, like I feel so much calmer. Like this works for me, and like just
Yeah.
having that feedback is great, because that's what I feel, and I just built this for myself, really, because I think email's terrible. Yeah,
I mean, yeah, it is. There's so much more craft to it than just like a very sterile Gmail inbox, right? So,
yeah,
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 it looks great.
absolutely, yeah, yeah.
And behind the scenes is basically like the LM categorizing and summarizing stuff.
Yeah, it's actually pretty complex. There are rules, there are many LM workflows, there are many different LMs, but the goal is for you to feel confident it does the right thing. And that
Yeah.
means a different thing for everyone, because everyone has a different personality. So it's a lot about like understanding who you are and where your risk factor, like how risky are you, because
Mm.
some investors might want to read everything, but like some engineers might not want to read anything. So it's like,
Yeah.
how do you find that for everyone? And yeah, lots of evals and prompting and fun things. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's actually one of the lessons I've learned from AI products. Like you gotta give the human ability to provide input so that it becomes more valuable over time. Like if I
Yeah.
provide a bunch of input, it
Yeah.
becomes better, right? So
Yeah, and it's not only here, it's also with if you do engineering. Like if you do something, don't do it again tomorrow. Just make sure that whatever you did is a slash command, so the
yeah,
AI can do it the next day. Yeah. So yeah, it applies. Like make sure everything you do is like compounding, because it's better.
yeah. This is like well, I wanted to demo Claude Code, but the MD file thing was like the slash command thing was kind of like an eye opener, like
Yeah.
for me. Yeah,
Yeah,
even if
absolutely.
I want to
Yeah.
put in my blog post, maybe I'll start using Claude Code to do that.
Yeah, you can do everything, and also you can write custom scripts. Like if you have a very specific tool you have or use, you can just say, hey, is there an API for this? And can you just write a little script and say, hey, there's this script that you can run in your Claude MD as well. And yeah, that works great as well.
And you just put these MD files, these prompts into the command, just like a commands folder?
Yeah, it's under .claude commands in here, but you can also have them system wide. Just read the Anthropic documentation on it, like or feed it to the AI. Like I'm still confused why they didn't have that baked into Claude Code, but someone is already working on it, I think, to do that. Yeah.
Dude, so last question, man. Like, I feel like this is super awesome.
Yeah.
I feel like for the non-engineers watching this, they might feel a little bit intimidated by all the stuff that you just showed. So, like, do you have any words of advice?
Yeah. Like, just do it. Don't feel intimidated. But also, like, I'm doing this for a while, and now I'm very comfortable with it. But like when I started, I was like a baby as well. I was like, like that's fine. And the most important part is not to listen to the gurus and the people say this is how it works, because that's not how it works for you. Like, you should figure out how it works for you, but you should listen to other people that push the boundaries to see, like, hey, maybe I should push more towards that. And that could be like non-technical people. Just install Claude and like try it, have it do one very simple thing, and just see that one simple thing like exceed or not, and experiment with it. Like, I think the play aspect is just go play with it. No, like, don't say I want to redo how I write blog posts or an entire like workflow, because it's hard. Just do one simple thing and see if it can do that, and then build on top of that.
I love it. And where can people find Cora?
Cora, you can try Cora.computer. We have 7-day free trial, and either you love it and some people hate it, and
yeah,
more people love it lately. So I'm very, very glad with that. I post lots of stuff on X, like very deep, nerdy coding stuff, but also just more philosophical takes. So if you want to see any of those, you can follow me there as well.
All right, Kieran. Well, thanks so much, man. It was so great meeting you online and having you walk through all of this. One day, if I stumble around enough, I'll become as good as you doing all this stuff. So
I'm a beginner. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for having me on.
Cool.